Chapter 4. Field Officer Troy Marino. Thank you again, Dad, for picking up David. I will drop by after I am finished. Bye for now. Troy hung up his cell phone, observing the wreckage of the Golden Sun Country Club while organizing the Nankin emergency volunteers by using hand signals. 6 police were at the location, staying back until Troy deemed the area safe. Captain Marino, why don't you go home and let everyone handle things here? Oh, and sorry for your great loss, Wendy said, expressing concern. Medic, I am only following protocol, Troy stated firmly. But, sir, your wife just died. You should feel sad for your great loss. Troy felt more enraged and began clenching his hands and grinding his teeth. Never tell me how to feel. I never share my personal life, nor do I want to hear about your personal life. He stepped aside to avoid more unnecessary chit-chat. Noticing a bright orange and brown truck driving toward the wreckage, Troy prepared to greet the 2 men in blue flight suits labeled NEV. Axel and Scott had the same short brown hair, the same short, twisted beard, and the same style of gold earring in the left earlobe. Each wore tiny hearing aids in both ears. Scott Chase driving a fire truck. Dr. Axel Chase, you must be proud that your only son got his driver's license. Scott shook his head. I'm not even on my learner's permit. In 3 months, I will take the test, once the wording of several questions has been changed appropriately. Troy pretended not to have heard Scott's comments. He noticed that Axel and Scott looked like clones of each other. Troy mused on his best friend, Dr. Axel Chase the engineer. Anyone who knows a doctor of engineering will find a way to improve something far beyond its usual purpose. This is a man who makes internet videos of his work. His online videos show explosive rounds for a children's toy gun, hand-sized magnetic drones, a Beretta snail attachment adding 50 extra rounds, an ultraviolet torch with a laser beam sight, 6 weapons in one shiny gauntlet, and even a DIY bomb shelter that he made by reconstructing his basement and adding extra rooms. Smiling, trying not to laugh, Troy said, "Now for the $1,000,000 question, Axel. What have you engineered out of my dad's old fire truck? Did he say it was okay to completely transform it into a truck for NEV? We got him permission from your father. It's no problem. This, my friend, is what I call a 6-barrel vacuum heat pipe cannon connected with copper pipelines. Each barrel sucks in heat at an approximate length of 60 feet, multiplied by a diameter of 6 inches. Troy nodded in agreeance. Save me your physics speech. Is this equipment registered and safe? Safe, yes. Registered, soon, Dr. Axel Chase replied expressionlessly. Scott Chase began setting up a boundary line behind the truck's 6 exhausts, indicating to keep clear. Troy stepped carefully through the wreckage, making his way to the laundry room while students waited outside. The cyborg armor lay in separate pieces on the floor. Back your truck in. I will get some strong students to help load the suit onto the truck, Troy instructed. As he was leaving the building, Janet Munson followed him, pounding him with questions. Explain your marriage to Alyssa. Why are you not by her side after the coroner declared her dead? Do you even care that your wife is dead? Is Dr. Tracy Genelan or Peter Richardson going to provide therapy for you? Are you preparing a comeback in the MMA now that you have fewer family commitments, or are your drunken assault charges catching up with you? Troy ran toward Dr. Tracy Genelan at the assembly point, not looking back as Janet followed him. Tracy, I need at least 4 very strong boys to help Axel over there, Troy said while glaring behind himself. That bitch won't give up. Janet Munson is amazingly fast on her feet. Who wants to help Mr. Marino? Several students including Scarlett raised their hands and came to stand next to Troy. All right, students, Troy said, Dr. Axel Chase will give further directives. Follow me as we run past that damn flock of vultures. I urge everyone to say nothing at all. Or if need be, place your left hand toward the camera lens and repeat these words, stop. I don't like it. Troy sarcastically mocked Janet, placing his right hand on his hip. Leading more students toward Dr. Axel Chase, Troy ran as Janet and others carrying their smartphones filmed him. Janet Munson pushed a cordless microphone toward Troy's mouth. "Explain the relationship you had with Alyssa," she demanded. Troy sighed, standing tall as the flock of vultures gathered to film his statement. "Anything you want to apologize for?" Janet asked scornfully. "Ms. Munson, tell me who hurt you. I see pain in your eyes of unforgiveness. It appears as if someone has hurt you terribly. Help me to help unravel your suppressed complicated emotions so you may actually live your life and not force your Doodlebane agenda down the gullets of everyone representing NEV." Gasping was heard all around. The group of onlookers watched Troy walk away, ignoring the paparazzi of social media bloggers. "Your Doodlebane agenda has ruined many lives." Troy laughed as he continued to walk, noticing that the attention was taken far away from Dr. Axel Chase, who had recovered the cyborg armor. Troy thought, "Your crazy Doodlebane agenda against all Nankin emergency volunteers stops today. I know a man must have hurt you because I have seen the same pain in my own eyes when I looked into the bedroom mirror after what Nigel Giovanni did, splitting my family in half. Find forgiveness, Janet Munson, for all you hurt and for those who have hurt you. Finding forgiveness is the ultimate resolution if you choose to live freely in peace." At 6 p.m., Troy arrived at Dr. Axel Chase's house with his son, David, and his long-retired father. It was a 2-story brick home with a custom basement and attic. Troy noted top security defenses from prison bars in the windows to cameras, monitors, and many well-hidden weapons throughout. Troy complimented, "This home is the second safest place in town. Life is a battlefield, son. After the war in Vietnam, my brothers had no time for fantasy, having been hit too hard by reality. Veterans today still need someone to talk to about their fears, to shine light inside dark places. It was harder back then to be accepted because of the color of my skin. How things have changed." Grandpa Mervyn sighed, crossing his fingers together. Troy replied, "Grandpa Mervyn, we will talk soon. For now, let us enjoy Anna's home booking. Dr. Tracy Genelan is here tonight, and she is bringing a co-worker whom Scott started seeing one-on-one. If you want to book a time with her, we can all sit down and talk. Or if you want to see her by yourself for a while, that's okay too." Just then, Anna Chase opened the front door, welcoming everyone before they even approached the stairs. "Troy, I see you brought along my assistant chef David." Anna widened her loving arms and smiled as David initiated one high five, 2 fist bumps, and a handshake. Anna rubbed his shin as his leg extended overhead. "David will look after me in the kitchen and make sure all food is prepped. Grandpa Mervyn, Scott is looking forward to showing you his newest job in computer programming. Troy, the copper-fueled scientist is waiting for you in the basement. He said he has news for you." Anna Chase frowned as she held David's hand, taking him into the kitchen. Troy and Grandpa Mervyn walked into Scott's office and sometimes bedroom. "What are you working on this time, Scott?" Typing at his computer, Scott replied to Troy, "Our lawyer from NEV, Maxwell Turner, has given me a job in computer programming. I just need to go over numbers because new character classes have been added to an advanced multiclass system." Grandpa Mervyn read over the class list. Universal Mystic, Mystic, Beast Summoner, Daredevil, Sniper, Mastermind, Dragon Rider. Grandpa Mervyn said, "Scotty, this is very confusing. Why are there 2 classes of Mystic? My name is Scott. You helped raise me since birth." Scott continued, explaining, "Each class requires certain requirements that one must meet before the class can be taken. For example, an original Mystic can only be selected once a character reaches level 3 in both Cleric and Sorcerer. After this, each level of Mystic will increase the powers, spell list, and mana capacity in both Cleric and Sorcerer." Scott pointed at a bar graph on the wall. "Each class has 10 levels, and advanced classes are 5 levels. A universal mystic is made from a minimum of 3 levels in cleric, sorcerer, and scion. A dominant universal mystic is level 35. Lots of multiclassing. And on a positive note, they have quite a vast range of spells, powers, abilities, and mana. One boss fight is this, plus 10 levels into Gunslinger. A universal mystic version of Nigel Giovanni is at level 45. All that said, it's either one mystic class or the other, as levels won't stack. Troy quickly interrupted, saying, I play as a martial artist and sorcerer. 10 levels into sorcerer and I can cast slow time, whereas a universal mystic will need longer till they can cast slow time. Once I reach level 21, I may multiclass into barbarian for extra strength, mostly to deal more critical hit damage. I've got to go talk to Axel. I will talk to you more at dinner. Wait, Troy. According to comments on the internet, the cyborg casted a level 5 spell called a gust. It was as if the suit also somehow empowered the spell, making it more like a level 7 spell, Scott explained. Grandpa Mervyn sighed. I am off to the kitchen, nerds. Way over my head, Scotty. Scott frowned as he and Grandpa Mervyn realized that Troy had already left the room. Following a series of bright lights shining between each step, Troy descended into the basement. Welcome, Mr. Marino, to my command center. I have some indifferent news for you. Dr. Axel Chase grimaced. His command center was filled with many strange-looking electrical devices and engineering equipment. Monitors, computers, and whiteboards also lay about. Dr. Axel Chase opened 2 doors set into a wall, pulling out built-in autopsy tables. The cyborg suit was laid out on one table, and the other table revealed a skin-tight black suit torn to shreds and covered in blood. Why do you have autopsy tables and freezers built into your wall? Or is it just best I look the other way? Troy grimaced, raising his right eyebrow. Dr. Chase put some blood into a vial. Dr. Tracy Genelan will look at this blood sample to verify who the cyborg is, if the DNA matches any in the database at Gwenvale Hospital. Instead of talking hocus-pocus, I have decided to tell her someone broke in again, as evidenced by this black hair found on my workbench. I do not know why or how anyone could break in and get past my security system undetected. Pointing at a messy workbench, Troy noticed a wall of keyhooks. Small devices were hung up. Troy didn't really know what else Axel had produced. Property stolen includes a high-voltage taser disguised as a purse, 6 titanium handcuffs, 12 impact grenades, a snail attachment adding 50 bullets to a Beretta, and a miniature electrical magnetic pulse generator. None of these items have a license or registration. It's also important to mention that I've demonstrated them in a video clip on my social media sites. Dr. Chase gave himself a thumbs up and smiled a cheesy grin. Troy frowned. I need you to follow protocol. After all, that damned reporter Janet Munson has slandered NEV, making it only a matter of time until the FBI proceeds with our 7th investigation. Dr. Chase interrupted fearfully. Troy, I have had nightmares about the cyborg, radionics along with Scion controlling a robotic suit with its mind. It created engineered armor shooting nitrogen from its palm, you know, the kind of stuff I have built without using magic. If it is magic, then the suit acts as a capacitor, sending energy through coil-like fingers, Dr. Axel Chase said, stuttering. Locking away both autopsy tables and typing an electronic code to open a hidden door, Dr. Chase looked down a descending corridor as several ceiling lights revealed shelves on both sides. Enjoy my newest renovation. I have enough firearms to start a small war. Troy walked through, noticing ammunition, handguns, long arms, grenade launchers, and a giant bomb in a steel frame at the end of the 200-foot-long corridor. What is a warhead doing down here? Are you building a militia and not inviting me to fight by your side? Dr. Chase placed both hands on Troy's shoulders. Troy, my brother and your father is Scott's godfather. I promise the one called the cyborg, and anyone else affiliated with it, will die by my weapons. The mini electromagnetic pulse generator would be the ideal way to kill a cyborg, especially if its life support is internal. Better to arrest than to murder, Troy said firmly. As Dr. Chase was locking up his weapons arsenal, Troy commented, "Everything happened so fast that I didn't know what to do to save Alyssa when David needed me." A man wearing a navy blue suit with short brown hair and a well-chiseled chin walked down into the basement. "Gentlemen, dinner is served." "Who are you?" "My command center is strictly out of bounds." The man grinned. "I am Dr. Alexander Saldek. I am new to Gwenvale Asylum, seeing Scott regularly." "Love your command center, Mr. Chase." Replying strongly, Axel said, "Doctor, actually. Dr. Axel Chase." "Captain Troy Marino," Dr. Saldek cut in. "I am truly sorry for your loss. If you ever want to do a session or combined session with Dr. Genelan, please do not hesitate to ask." Ignoring the man in the navy blue suit, Troy barged upstairs. "We'd better hurry up to join everyone for dinner." Troy thought of having to eat dinner with this psycho. Alyssa wanted to do therapy with him and Peter Richardson. Separately, of course. They had more issues as a couple, but somehow they'd grown stronger together since then. Troy thought, "I hate listening to therapists' opinions except for Dr. Tracy Genelan. Maybe with her medical expertise, she can help me unmask the man in the cyborg armor. I will avenge Alyssa's death. Then I will cry my tears of remorse."